everybody. Should be live now. I'm still kind of getting set up. Lost track of the clock. Getting ready for vacation. And unfortunately, we have a cat up here, which I don't think is going to be compatible with this type of activity. So let's say hello to Mr. Serbles before I take him downstairs, because he's wanting some attention. So I'll be pausing for a little bit while I do that. Give me a second here. Come on, Mr. Serbles. Let's give you some pens. There we go. There we go. Thank you very much for your patience. All right, let me get to where I can actually see the chat going on here. Looks like we have quite a few people in here. Moment, there we go. Yep, doing well, just getting ready to head out. Hi, Gwen, nice to see you on. Yes, congrats, you actually have caught for the live. Hello, Texas Nana. All right, I think I've said hello to everybody, so I'm going to finish getting the, let's see. Get the camera set up to where you can see what I'm doing. All right. Let's get the other parts of this going. Getting everything in place. I'm pretty sure the answer to my question of can I get this all set up is probably going to be no, but I'm going to make a good college try for it. All right, so we are ready for red next. So let's get the Tama set up. And I'm throwing them around. Which is not a good thing, but we'll make do. Since I found the tape measure again, let me double check my dimensions. Make sure that I'm at least in the ballpark of what I want to get. Do this without knocking over the warping stand. My base is apparently not overly stable. All right, so 8 feet. 9 feet. Okay, that seems to be pretty reasonable for that. Oops. And I cut the threads. And go from here. Reasonably close to what it should be. Check the chat real quick here. All right. People still saying hi. Okay, so red. Let's see. Clip it. And make sure we got all the threads. Looks like we do. All right, let's start. Feed it out. be working okay. All right, well, we can tie off. Well, if this goes, the rest of these go as well, I might actually be able to get it done in time. We'll have to see. All right. First knot done. I'm using the good mic, so I hope you folks can hear me okay. Alrighty. Going and checking the tension. All right. This is definitely working pretty quickly here. I'm definitely impressed that hasn't screwed up on me. Or saying that probably will, but all right, let's keep walking this back. I'm gently pulling on it to make sure that the thread tension is relatively even because it looks like there is some twisting involved here. But as long as it's reasonably close, I can work with it. Okay. Get to the point where we can clip it. And clip on the magnet. And cut it free from the frame. I'll have to clean that up. Okay. So we bring it around up from the bottom. And I'm going to tie it off. Try and be careful not to let the threads move relative to each other lengthwise. I think I need a little bit more room to get them all in. Let me just set that down on the Takadai rather than holding it under my chin. Probably be a little easier to concentrate without having to try and keep that from falling. All right. Caught Rob on Laid Back News this morning. Was still listening to it when it was time to start, which is why I was a bit late. I apologize for that. And I at least got up to the point where Rob left. They were currently arguing some of the January 6th charges that are currently going on for the electors and stuff like that. Okay, time to wrap up the other end. So it looks like I still have a little bit of unevenness going on. I'm trying to figure out best ways to deal with that. I can deal with it without too much problem, just by unrolling and then evening it up and then either gluing or tying off or something like that to keep that going. My week is doing pretty good. Let's see. Oops. My day job is going pretty well. They're happy with me. That's always a plus. All right. So let's set this up here. So what I need is feed this through here. All right. So the going over the top goes to the right. Let's unroll this just a little bit so that it. All right, and okay, so So there we go. All right, so the flagged line is going over the top, and this is the bottom row, so I need to get it under all the gray ones. So it's under the first, go over the second, and oops, nope, I did that wrong. Okay, so it's under the first one, which is this one here. Okay, so it goes over the second, under the third, over the fourth, and under the fifth. All right, and lines up here. Let's bring the flag back up closer. And I'm gonna kneel down here real quick and take a look and see if it looks like a proper weave. And it indeed does. It's matching up with what the other ones are. Okay, so I'll unroll this a bit more and put it with the rest of them so that the angles look good. Ready. And move this flag off of here since it's no longer needed. These have enough tension to keep them from sliding relative to each other. And we're ready for a gray next. Sorry to hear that, Jen. I understand kind of what that's like. I've had switching medicines for my migraines and stuff like that. Sometimes they work great, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they turn you into a zombie for like 6 months. That was not a fun experience. All right, so position the tama first. That one's positioned there. This one is positioned here. All right, let's see if I can't get these to. Yeah, I want to. Because I needed to wrap around my finger just to make sure that none of these slide out. Seems to be one cut there around the binder clip that might potentially cut it. All right, and see that one is also cut around a clip. Let's see if I can't free it. Okay, that one's free. All right, so all of the ones that were kind of caught on the clips are free now. And let's do the jiggly pull so that they pop loose from the spools and don't pull the spools up in the air. Thinking maybe I might need some sort of tensioner so that I kind of pull it at an even rate between them. Some are coming free easier than others. All right, we are about to where we can tie off. Do that real quick. Not sure if you guys can hear me when I'm all the way over here. I got one short one. Hopefully that won't be an issue. Let's pull them all through. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. Let's see what is the short one. Pull it far enough. Okay. Try this again. thinking maybe having a smaller pilot hole loop might be a good idea. Okay. All right, we are looking better on the second attempt. And did have one, looks like it popped free a little bit, but it seems to be caught in a knot, so I should be okay. It's just shorter, so it stands out. There we go. That's 2. And 1 more. And 3. All right. Let's get this position taped up so that I can measure my distance. Well, not measure my distance, but have the length be the correct length. There we go. Tape is in place so it doesn't accidentally pull itself off. And I'm back to the middle. Time to tape off the middle point. We are currently at 18 tama warped up out of 84. All right, pulling back again. I seem to be doing pretty good. Tension looks good. Let's go ahead and clip this one off so it doesn't pop loose. And go ahead and cut it free from the frame. Bring it over and up and around through. Looks good. Let me I will get this tied off, and then I'll look at the chat real quick. Looks like there's been some new stuff come through. And tie off 1. That looks good. Tie off 2. And tie off 3. Let's go ahead and roll this up just a little bit and set it over here and get the other end rolled up. Now, this is definitely much easier than trying to keep the count of how many threads I have on here straight, because I tend to get that, lose that point, and I have to go back and count again from scratch. Now, admittedly, 1 to 12 isn't too bad, but it's kind of hard to count when they're wrapped around a warping peg. Let's go ahead and roll this end up here. This is another... I forget the name, but it's a pickup braid. It's 84 strands. I'm going to be doing a, oops, looks like I wrapped potentially unevenly. Okay, that looks better. It's a little uneven on this. It's an 84 strand pickup braid. I am going to be doing a somersaulting robot pattern. Give me a minute after this, and I think I can bring up a visual of what it's going to look like. All right. Okay. All right, so some of these I may wind up having to re-roll just to make sure the tension is nice and even, but this is still a lot better than the warping pegs. And all right, so that looks good. This one's over the top. So the first one is under, then we go over the second, under the third, over the fourth, and under the 5th. And bring the blue flag marking the halfway point up here. All right, let's see, does it look correct for the pattern being an even over and under? Yes, it does. All right, let's pull the flag off the second one here. I'm trying to only keep like three flags in case that they move around a little bit as I'm doing it. But once I'm 3 over from the new edge, they're fairly stable. They don't seem to want to move on their own without a lot of effort. All right, so that one's ready. Let me go ahead and pull up the braid pattern. Yep, the last one I did was also 84. Give me a second here, bring it up in Chrome using Claire Casson's wonderful programming for pickup braids. Okay. Speaking of which, she just released a new version for the, I believe it's the Kikogumi, done on the Marodai as opposed to the Takadai, for being able to design your patterns. Getting my okay. The version I'm using requires a login that you get by buying her Takadai book. All right, let me switch over to edit portion. All right, and get up to Studio, present, share screen. There we go, share. And all right, let's see. I think I can make this full screen. All right. So this is the pattern that it's going to be. The robot kind of somersaults, and then it will repeat. I'm going to do probably about 5 feet of this braid. All right, let me stop sharing this one. Go back to, oh, that's right. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see if that focus can get any better, or if that's pretty good. I think that's the best I can do on that. Let's see if we can get that evened up a little bit. All righty. Wow, this is really early on for you. But it's been about half an hour. I'm gonna probably run at least an hour and a half. I need to get a little bit of a nap before we head out. We're gonna head out about 3 a.m. local time for our working vacation. Okay, all right, I think we're good there. So red is next. We have 20 out of the 84, so we're roughly a quarter of the way done. Yep. I haven't actually done it on the Marodai. I bought her book and I gave it to my wife as a Christmas present. And since it's a gift, she needs to do it first before I will do that, because otherwise that's just a gift for me, and that's not a nice thing to do. If I get to the point where I need to do it before she does, I will buy my own copy of the book. All right, let me fix where I accidentally knocked some stuff around. Okay. Sorry, I'm not doing the other camera, but I figure doing the point of braiding is more interesting than watching me fumble around walking back and forth, though I did do that for the first stream with it. Whoops, I realized I forgot to set the Tama up ahead of time, so let me do that real quick now before I get too far into this. Okay. Fortunately, that doesn't take long, but it's much easier to do before I've got the threads all over the place. like 18 feet out from the warping stand. Still waiting to see when I wind up with the last of the red spools that needs to be taken care of for the knot I actually ordered in it when I was spinning them up. But they seem to be doing pretty good. That one's really loose, but oops, something's caught. Let's see. I'm going to do this without making a tangled mess. All right. Which one is caught? Standing on threads is not a good thing. Please don't do that. All right. So I think I see which one is caught. Yep. All right, let's see if I can't. There we go. That should be okay for a little bit. All right, let's go back and start pulling. All right. Looks like that worked. Tie this end off. Okay. Just about got the first knot done. Second one done. And third one done. All right, let's position this comma so it doesn't accidentally fall over while I hold tension even. Work my way back to the halfway point. There we go. The reds seem to be a little more tangled, but look better when I get to the end, so I don't know if that's helping keep things tensioned evenly or not. Alrighty, let's put the flag on, and that's in place. Now walk to the other end. Okay, tension seems to be even. Let's give a little bit of excess so that I can clip it and tie it off, or cut it for the tie off. All right. Magnetic clip is in place. And cut. Bring the tama over. And don't forget the most important part of coming up through here before tying the other end off. If it's not through the D-rings when I tie it off, I have made a serious mistake. Because I'll have to untie it and then refeed it through. Let's move it over here so you can see what I'm doing real quick. And then I'll move it back when I position it. Alrighty. This is not overly complex, but it does require a little bit of practice and dexterity. Otherwise, you wind up with snarled messes, as I have learned from my earlier attempts, and sometimes from my current ones, because it doesn't always work the way you want it to. Alrighty, there's 3 off there. Reposition that. Wrap it around a few times just to make sure that it's there. Set that one over there. And we go to the other end and start rolling that up. So despite the fact I like the Maradai that I 3D printed the top for, I don't think I'm going to take it with me. When I go, I will take a not at least 2 non-setup Maradais and as many Tama as I can free from other other projects, and I'll start fresh with a braid while I'm out there. All right, so set this one over here, being under there, and let's wind up from this end. A little bit of tape stuck to my thumb. Oops. Don't want it snagged around there. All right. Looks like I have one that might have wrapped around the wrong way because there seems to be an issue there. Let me go ahead and, while I'm thinking about it, I'll unwrap this one and see if I can't even out the tension so that at least I can start out with it looking decent. Okay. We are back to the tie-off knot. All right. So you can see the little extra thread off here. I'm just gonna, whoops, set that back there. I'm just gonna kind of pull back. Actually, I'm gonna kind of wrap it around here so that it doesn't, provides me a bit of resistance. So, all right, just pull this back here. Keep pulling, make sure that that loose bit works its way up to the end. And alrighty. Don't know how I wound up with that extra. Must have missed it hanging loose when I was pulling the tension back, but like I said, I can deal with that. Alrighty. And Mark said this one. And unwrap this around from the other side. Okay, so alrighty. So the one heading this side is underneath, or yeah. Let's make sure I'm going the right way. Okay. All right, so the one coming over the top is the side with the flag on it. To unroll this a little bit here. And so the one going to the left is currently underneath. And now it will go over the second, under the third. Yep, under the third. Over the fourth. So we are under, over, under. All right. Over, under the last one. Put that there. And just confirm that it's under, over, under. Let me kneel down and make sure that I can see close enough to make sure that it's the right way. So pull this out of the way here. All right, so it's over the second one. And it's over the third one. All right, so yeah, I'm incorrect. All right, so over the second one, then under the third one, over the fourth, under the fifth, and over the sixth. All right, so that should be good. Let's just double check, make sure. All right, so yeah, it is under, over, under, over, under, and over. Yep, that's good. All right, so let's just pull this one up so it's middle point's where it's supposed to be. And 1, 2, take the flag off the third one over. There we go. And carefully stand up, bracing myself on the Takadai. And have 22 now out of 84 done. All right. Keeping that still roughly centered. Hello, Cookie Monster. Yes, we got about 95% stuff packed up in the cars. The only thing that's really left to pack up is like my streaming equipment, the CPAP, and some toiletries and stuff like that. So, since I did say hi back to you, I'll go ahead and show that real quick. Alrighty. Hey, we've got 9 people on. That's pretty good for a Friday afternoon stream. About 5:14. We've been on for about 40 minutes. Let me check, see if anybody's on Rumble that is chatting. Nope. Still have not got a chat from Rumble yet. Eventually I will, I'm sure. Okay. Let's even that up on the frame a little bit. Okay, so I just did a red one. Now it's time for a gray one. Staging the Tama. All right. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to re-roll the one that had the issue with the red so that hopefully I can avoid that again. Nope, this is one of the loop-de-loop ones that didn't do right, so that one probably is going to wind up having an issue again later down the road, but it's not a very large loop-de-loop issue, so when we get to it, hopefully that won't be a problem. So that one's taken care of. All right, let's try the gray again. Okay, we have pulled it off the clip. Wrap it a couple times around the fingers so that they all come along. Use a little jiggle pull so that I don't pull the spools all the way off the rack. Work my way back. Getting just about in position. All right. Oops. I threw one off the rack. I'll be able to put it back. It shouldn't be a problem. Let's tie this one off. We have got the first knot. Let's see. Okay. Looks like everything got in. Nothing is overly short. And second knot. And third knot. All right. Position this for pulling the tension even. We are at the halfway point, and it looks good. Oh, for those that were not aware, for those who have been following the issue with my father, who passed out and fell down, got a TBI, and then they found out that only one of the 4 electrical circuits in his heart was working properly. Got him a pacemaker. Then one of the drugs made it seem like he had dementia. Then they got him off that, and he's for the nausea he was having from the TBI, and they got him off that. He started recovering better. He is now home. He still has some therapy to go through to get back to where he was, but he is definitely feeling healthier and dealing with things better. So that makes me much happier. All right, so clip this here so the threads don't go wandering. And before I do anything else, I'm going to put that one spool back on that jumped off. Katana, and threads free. Bring them over to the Takadai. Oops. I want to catch on the pins. Got it nice and good grip on there. Move this over so you can see what I'm doing. Hope I'm not making anybody car sick with the motion. Or motion sick. The drug in question that my dad was having the issue with was scopolamine, which I may be pronouncing wrong, but it's like what Dramamine wants to be when it grows up. It's really good for handling seasickness and stuff, which is why the Navy and the Marines like it. But apparently in older people, there's a certain rate where they get confusion and other stuff as a result. So, but like I said, he's off of that, and he is doing better, so I'm very happy about that. My sister, who lives in Louisiana, no, she lives in Mississippi now. She did live in Louisiana. She now lives in Mississippi. Flew up to help my parents. My sister, who does live locally to them in Idaho, has been helping, but she's been burning the candles at both ends. So having my other sister get up there to helped quite a lot. Alrighty. Let's bring this back. And I will go ahead and wrap up from the other end here real quick and then read the chats. Tensioning on this one is looking better. I will say that this is a lot less physically stressful than what I was doing before. So even if it's not a whole lot faster, it's definitely worth it from the not wearing myself out category. All right, let's set this one over here and roll up from the other end. Yeah, it looks like the tensioning is a little bit weird. Let me unroll it a little bit and pull it back just to make sure. I'm wondering if working with this, if it would make sense to like spray water to remove static issues where it kind of keeps the threads apart, if they would handle better doing this stuff. I have to think about that. I'm not sure if I got a good way to do that. Okay, so it looks like it wasn't really a tensioning issue. I'm not seeing any loops that were hanging down. It just didn't look nice, I guess that would be the best way to put it. All right, let's tie the lark's head knot off on this end too. Since I always have issues showing people sometimes, I figure the more I do it on stream, more people will have a chance to kind of get the visuals involved. All right, so we need to like Yes. So the one that is going to be on the right is over the top of this crossover. And the one that's going on the left, it's under this first one here that I'm adding on. So yeah, if it's under the first, then it's over the second. And under the third. Over the fourth, under the fifth, and over the sixth. All right. Set that one there. And just make sure that it looks right. So it's under, over, under. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's bring that up so the flag is even with the rest of them. Unroll this side here so it can hang over the upper rail. Alrighty, and we will take off the next flag because I don't want a ton of this painter's tape all together, because if I get too much on, it's hard to take it off one at a time without leaving bits. I'd really like this to look nice when it gets to the recipient. All right, and the weave looks pretty good. So I'm going to sit down and read the chats real quick for a second. I am sorry to hear that. YouTube is being a jerk. Thank you very much. I realize you can't hear that. I'm sorry about that. So let's see. All right. Well, at least he should be able to see that response now. Alrighty. Thank you very much. And thank you. And I am going to have to run away for a few seconds. I will be right back. So let me go ahead and put on some background music. Let's try Night Driving today. And volume low so you guys aren't overpowered. Let's see, can I hear it? Oh, that's right. I don't know. I'm not sure if my hearing is delayed. Probably not. All right, we got 13 people on. That's really impressive for one of my streams. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody who's watching. All right, and 3 people on Rumble. Nobody chatting on Rumble. All right, I will be back in approximately 1 minute. Okay, more like 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, I am back. Let's bring the comments back up so I can see when people talk. Alrighty. And so we just did a gray one, so we are ready for a red one. So, yep, we've got 6 and 6 per side. So that's 24 done. All right, so we are officially over a quarter of the way done, working our way up to a third. So red is next. All right, pre-stage the tama, don't forget that. If I don't do that, it gets more complicated. And yes, flat starting a braid like this is not the easy way to do it. Nice to see. Understood. Equality. I'm just, while I'm doing this, it distracts me a little bit while I'm, so I'm not keeping an eye on the chat because I want to make sure I'm not screwing this up, but I appreciate that you're on here. You are definitely one of the more active YouTube chatters or followers in the streams that I like to watch. So it's nice to see you here. That makes me know that I'm not too horrible in my production quality, I guess you'd say. All right, so red is next. And let's pull this off the clip and loop it around the tip of my finger a couple of times so that it doesn't have the shoes. All right, so one of the issues I found is that one of the threads got caught in the stand that it's on. Let's see if that was an issue. No, I seem to be pulling okay. They're a little rattly, but none of them are jumping up too high. Yeah, seem to be going fairly okay. I'm almost to the tie-off point. Whoops, had one jump. And that is one with the shoes. And let's see if I can still finish this off and then fix it later. Looks like I can. Yep, I'm back to the tie-off point. Okay, we are ready to tie off. Yeah. Let's get that first knot in. All right. That is tied off. Did I lose anyone? Nope. I think I got all of the strings in the knot. We're ready for the second one. Yeah, looks good. And the third one, and we'll be ready to tension back. All right. Hey, dear.
Hello.
I am streaming, just so you're aware.
Okay. Did I say I like dinner?
Yes. Do you want me to order, or are we? I'm happy to pause and go order something after I done this one, and then once here, I'll leave you to stop right the stream.
Well, we can go with the Mexican place and have some air conditioning or whatever you want.
Okay. Let me finish this one up. We'll head down and discuss it real quick, and then I'll go from
Well, if keep doing this, and how about 6?
there. Okay. I'm good with that. All right. Love you, dear.
Well, me too.
That was the lovely Mrs. Torrin. And so it sounds like I got a half hour, so we'll make the most of it. There is we don't actually have air conditioning in the house, so I do now have air conditioning in the garage. So once we'll probably go to a nearby restaurant that does have AC, so we can eat in pleasant coolness there. All right. And this one actually looks like it's tensioned reasonably well. There's not a lot of feeling like it was tangled up as I was working the tension back. It's extra there. All right. And let me put the one that jumped off back where it was supposed to be. And let's see. Seems to be wrapped around the other one. Okay. And let's see if I can unwrap it. Yep, there we go. No longer tangled. All right, and we are cutting free. And put that there. Come You can go around the edge of the Takadai. All right, and we come up from the bottom. And let's move this over so you can see the tie off. Just want to let you wonderful folk know that I feel honored and blessed that you guys like watching what I do and that I'm doing something that you folks find interesting. And there we go. That knot's tied off. There's no loose threads not in it. Just do 2 more to make sure this doesn't come untied at the end and drop on the floor and make me feel embarrassed about that and wake up our roommate, who is mostly a day sleeper. All right. And that's tied off there. Let's wrap this one up just a little bit and set that over there. Move this back in place so folks can see that. And let's wrap it up from this end. There we go. That's looking good. Just do the lark's head knot here and set that to the side here. And let's roll up the other end. Okay. Looks like I have a little bit of uneven tensioning, so I'm going to unroll real quick and see if I can't walk that back up the line. There we go. Hold it snug. Oh, I see how that happened. I had thread catch the wrong way as I was rolling it. So I had one that was not on the first loop around. So it's a good thing I unrolled it, figured out what's going on. All right, keeping the tension on here. And lark's head knot. There we go. Let's see, that one looped around that way. Okay, so all right, so this one will be on top. Let's unroll this a little bit so I got enough to hang it off the edge while I'm doing this. All right, and so it is under the first. Yep. So, and then over the second one, under the third one, over the fourth one, under the fifth one, and then over the sixth and under the seventh. All right, let's pull this back so the midpoint flag is in place. And all right, so that's the right spot there. There we go. That one where it's supposed to go over there. And remove the next tape flag. There we go. All right, we are 14 plus 12. My brain is not working momentarily. 3, 6, 12, and 14. So 26. It doesn't sound like a right. Remember, let me use my hand brain to Yep, 26. Oh, that's right. It's not divisible before because I haven't done the silver side to match yet. Okay. Catch up on the chats real quick. All right, let me... Understood on that. Okay, yeah. I would definitely have to, like, hand wash these before sending them out if I did that. I'll have to think about that. Thank you very much. I will tell her you said hi. Yep, this is actually a pretty decent amount. I'm not usually this much, though I have been the last couple of times in the evening. I've actually gotten up to like maybe 16 or 18 people. But I'm hoping that's a sign that I'm getting more popular. I'm glad I'm able to do the whole thing for you. No worries, I figured that was a typo. And thank you as well. All right, so just did the red. Time for a silver one now, or gray. Pre-stage the tama. Though at this point, I can say I'm definitely not getting this done today, which means I will be able to start back up after the 13th of August to do it more. But it should be undisturbed in the meantime. Alrighty, we are going for gray. There we go. Wrapped around the guide loop on the. It's interesting. The magnet clip that I got doesn't seem to want to hold on to the steel for the shears very well, but that's just an odd thing for me. And wrap around the finger a couple times and start walking our way back. That one looks like it wants to jump way too much. Put that back where it's supposed to go. All right, still walking back. Just got to remember to do the finger jiggle a little bit more often. There we go. That helps the threads pop off the top of the spools and not snag and lift them up in the air. And I'm keeping my tension a little more even. Yeah. Feels like I got one that snagged somewhere a little bit, but I'm back as far as I need to be. So let's tie the end on this one off. Okay, first one's tied off. That was actually fairly quick. Didn't have to fight that one over too much. And two. And three. And tape that so it doesn't fall off as I work the tension back. This one feels fairly good. Not a lot of feeling like the threads have wrapped around each other a lot. Let's mark off the halfway point and finish walking way back. Loosen that up just a little bit. And let's put the foot back on. And we are ready to cut this from the frame. Go. And grab the pre-positioned tama. Loop it around so it doesn't catch on the corner of the Takadai. And bring it up through the bottom here. Move this over. Now let's do the tie off. Alrighty. And there we go. I'm going to bring the nice microphone with me, but I think I'm not going to, well, actually I probably should bring the ring light as well. Yeah. Not sure I got everything there. Let's give that a try. There's one that might have not looped in all right, but I think I can get the second one without issue. And there we go. And come on, you can not fight me on this. There we go. All right, that one's tied off now. Let's move this over, roll up that one a little bit, and let's roll up the other end. Just about to the halfway point. All right, let's do the lark's head knot. I think what I'm going to do is, since I had reasonable luck doing it previous time with the one hanging here so that I can make sure my tension was even, I am going to, let's see, let it hang here, walk the other end back, and with the oops, I managed to tie this around my earpiece. That takes a lot of clumsiness. All right. Come on. Do not snarl, do not make a knot. I will not be happy if that happens. Okay. And all right, looks like I got that untangled. So yeah, what I'm doing is I'm walking back so that the tension is being held on this, and hopefully that'll keep anything weird from happening as I roll it up, or it's not tensioned when I get there. Okay. That's looking pretty good. All right, so okay, so this is going to be the left side one. So the flag is on the right side of the D-ring loop, and that just winds up over there. Let's unroll that a little bit of unevenness on that side, but not too bad. All right, so it is under the first one, then it becomes over the second, under the third, and over the fourth, under the fifth, over the sixth, and under the seventh. So let's pull that a little even and unroll that in so that it's able to hang over the Tacoma the way it's supposed to. All right, and let's unroll this a little bit more so this end can hang where it's supposed to. So we now have 28 out of 84. There we go. And let's take the next flag off, which is on this one. Now that the flags are out of the way, you can kind of see a more visible view of the weave. Let's see. Not exactly in focus at that height. There we go. That looks like that's in focus. All right, so actually, let me move these down a little bit so it's a more consistent angle between the top and the bottom rails. I'm really looking forward to doing this one. It's been a little bit of a while since I've done a pickup braid. I want to be able to do more of them faster, so to speak. So the way to do that is practice, practice, practice. Okay, that one's looking pretty good. All right, let me catch up with the chats real quick. All right. Thank you very much. That makes me feel very nice. All right, so we have about 13 minutes till my deadline. I think I can get a couple more in. Let's see. Apparently, okay, StreamYard was not updating as much. I saw more on, let's see. Hey, Mari, welcome back to the stream. I have been doing it since roughly 1998. That was when I met the lady who taught me. Actually, at the event I'm going to in a couple of days. That was before I started working on the event staff. But and yes, I did. I didn't actually start on the Maradai. What she did is she made a disc for me out of the side of a 12-pack of Coca-Cola. It had, I think, 16 notches in it, and I was doing an 8, may have been 24 notches in it, but I was doing an 8-strand braid with a single, like a skein of DMC floss for each strand, and there was no weights. It's just the skein hanging from the end. And then shortly after that, probably within about 2 years, I had a Maradai and was working on that. And about a year after that, maybe, yeah, somewhere about a year or two after that, I had started making a Takadai. Found out the plans I had were for a very slender person, and I kept whacking my elbows into it. It's the one where it's 18 inches between the rails. And then I did my modifications and made this one, this actual Takadai here next, where it's 24 inches between the inner rails, and that works pretty well for me. If any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But I'm going to start on the next strand here, which is going to be red. I'm going to pre-position position the Tama first. And I think I really do like this warping stand, but I am potentially going to make some tweaks to it. And one of the tweaks might be that I either do my own version of cones, or I might go ahead and just buy 12 cones of each color, but that's going to be expensive if I do that. All right, so wrap around the finger. I think I have reached the point where the spool that has the worst issues needs to be addressed, which may involve cutting off the excess and may not. We'll have to see how it goes. Let's make sure this isn't wrapped around another one. All right, so let's see. Is that okay? So that was just, it was just caught on the painter's tape that I've got for the other loop. And I'll just show you folks what I'm dealing with. So this is some excess that wrapped around the spindle on the drill press and not on the spool itself. So I've got it set to the side. When I get to this, hopefully I can just take the tape off and unroll it and then re-roll it back up. But in the meantime, I've got it kind of out of the way. All right, so it's hanging off the bottom here. And if the thread I'm working on crosses over, I'll have to like give it a little tension then, but haven't reached that point yet. And as you can see, I still have a fair amount of thread on here, so given that I'm not quite a third of the way through, that's a good sign that I didn't do too little. I may have done a little too much, but we'll see how it works out. All right, so that gets set there. All right, and let's try this again. Now that I've addressed that, drop a couple times around the finger so it doesn't come undone. Do a little jiggle pull. And backing my way up, almost to the tie-off point. It's working pretty well. And there we are, ready to tie it off. I think we static that made that more difficult than it should be. Let's completely unpull this from the tie-off point. Let's see if I can do it again. Out issues. Yeah. Almost there. Right. Okay. Actually tied off properly. Ready for the second knot. Second pass on the knot. There we go. And third pass, and I'll be ready to walk the tension back. I realize I may be just making these terms out of whole cloth, but that's fine, because I'm not any authority. I am just me trying to do this stuff. All right, walking it back. Tension is reasonably good. I'm at the halfway point here. And tape off the midway point flag. And there we go. And keep walking the tension back to the starting point. It's feeling pretty good. Give myself a little bit of slack here so that there we go. And whoops, do not get the clip all the way on, which would potentially be an issue. There we go. And snip it off from the frame. Get a good grip on it. And make sure it doesn't catch on the corner. Bring it under here to make it a little easier. Pass this up through the D-ring. Make sure I got a good grip on it. There we go. And move this over. And let's do the tie off. And I'm going to tie this off before trying to disentangle the other end. As you can tell, I am clumsy at times. All right. And there we go. Make sure all the threads are through. Nope. So back this off and redo it rather than do it messily. Okay. All right. There we go. That's hanging free. Got a good grip on all of those. Back it off and pull through. There we go. And I don't have to worry as much because they're all tied off and shouldn't slide relative to each other without a bit of effort. Second one, we're doing better now. I may wind up cutting off some of this excess if it's an issue for further down the road, but I'm okay with it for now. It doesn't have any super glue on it, so it's not going to likely to cause unrolling issues like the super glued ends did. Go. And move that back over there. Now let's see if I can't get the tom up out from the mess that it was in. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. That end is free now. And let's roll this a little bit. And I'm going to put a little lark's head knot on here for a minute so that I can let this hang and walk it back to keep the tension even. So, all right, I am going to bring it around like that. There we go. And a little bit of pull tension here. Pull this up so that it stays tensioned. Since the tension looks good now, hopefully it'll stay this way. Lark's head. All right. Bring this over here and undo this. There we go. And all right, so I am going to pull back until that one's hanging free, and then I'll roll from this end. There we go. Let's undo the lark's head that I've got on here. Because it's hard to roll up through a lark's head. Much easier to unroll. And that's undone. As soon as I get this one in place, I will catch up on the chets. I think this seems to be a little better for keeping an eye on the tension. All right, so lark's head knot real quick. So this end doesn't unroll itself as I position it. Okay, so free that here. And there we go. This one's over the top here. To the right is on top. Left is on the bottom. And so go over the second one, under the third one, over the fourth one, under the fifth, over the sixth, under the seventh, and over the eighth. All right, let's pull this. Make sure it's long enough that it'll hang properly. There we go. And there. All right, so looks like it hasn't hung free on the flags. Kneel down real quick here. And, oops. All right. Make sure that actually this flag's ready to go, so I can just take this off anyway. All right. So it is under that one, over the second, under the third. Okay, that looks like that actually, That looks like it somehow wound up going through the middle of that one. So if that's the case, let's back this out a little bit. This is not as easy as it looks, unfortunately. All right. Okay, so, all right, so we are over, or under, over, under, right? And then we are back up for this one a little bit. We're gonna go over the next one. There we go, under, over, under, and over. And let's pull it till the flag is where it's supposed to be. And let's see if I've got it right this time. Okay. So that does look correct. Probably wouldn't have been an issue from where it was if I did have it going through, but I just didn't feel comfortable with that. Alrighty. Let me catch up on the chats real quick. Well, hello, Crazy by Proxy. I'm not sure I've seen you on before. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I'm working on losing weight, but it's been an issue for me. Thank you very much. This is mostly just setting up, getting ready to start. If you catch some of the other custom braid streams, you can kind of see what it looks like in the process. I also do time lapses when I'm done for people to see. If you're talking about the thin piece that was here, what would have happened is I would have been one less strand on that side, so it would be a slightly thinner strand because it's got 12 threads in it. If you're talking about on the spool, basically that may be what I have to do. If that's the case, I would cut it and then I would tie the ends together from where I'd cut it, the snarl out, and it would have been fine with a little teeny spot that might have be visible or not. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're part of the replay crew. That helps me a lot too. I appreciate that. All right. Let's see. It's after 6 o'clock. Okay, so I guess I should stop here, which means I'm one ahead on the red. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 16 and 14, I've got 30 Thomas set up, which, let's see. Means I'm about 35%, almost 36% of the way through setup. So, but I did promise my wife dinner, so I'm probably have to head out now. If anybody has anything they'd like to say before I head out, please say it now. I'll give it a minute or two, and then I will go ahead and end the stream. I appreciate that everybody who stopped by. Looks like we've been peaking out about 13 people on the YouTube side. Looks like we're roughly 4 people on the Rumble side. So, thank you very much. We will do our best to drive safely. And thank you. Thank you, Quality. And I will be, I don't know how well I'll be able to stream where I'm going. I don't know if I'll be able to get enough bandwidth to do it properly, but I will do my best. Oh, thank you very much. That is very important. But I will at least do some videos and upload them as videos. So, this braid is for Rob from Law and Lumber. He's probably going to be streaming in about 2 to 2.5 hours. Please go and watch his stream. I appreciate those that you do. And I will see you all as soon as I can. So stay safe and happy braiding, everybody.